Hey, everybody, it's Mr. Greg. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. I am excited to get to talk to my guest tonight, Dr. Richard Warren. How are you?
Man, I'm doing incredible. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, we are excited to get to know you and excited that you are part of Elevate. I can't wait. I hear amazing things about you. So I can't wait to get to know you and let everyone else get to know you. And just thank you for being a part of Elevate. We're so excited to have you.
Man, I am more than honored to be a part of Elevate. What you all are doing is phenomenal, and it speaks to the true essence of why we teach, why we show up every day, and just to be a part of that is an incredible honor.
Well, we're excited. We're proud of Elevate. We're proud of what we're doing. We're proud of the impact we make. So we can't wait to get to know you, talk all the things tonight. But I want to remind everybody who's watching, I know y'all were watching earlier. We're doing a giveaway tonight for a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. If you would like to win a free ticket to Elevate Virtual, all you have to do to enter is to hit the share button, invite your friends to join us, and get in the comments. The more you share and the more you comment, the more chances you have to win a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. And I know, Lisa wore her Elevate shirt today. Love it. I know you're going to have some questions because I know from what I hear, Richard's going to inspire us. I hear there might, like in some of his keynotes, I hear there's some tears, which we love. We love a good keynote that can make us laugh and cry and inspire us. So I can't wait. So I know we're going to have some questions. So any questions you have for Richard or myself, drop those in the comments. Let us know where you're from. What do you teach? How many days do you have left in the school year? All the things. So get in the comments. And I'm actually just going to turn it over to Richard and let him introduce himself.
Hey, everybody. My name is Richard, Dr. Richard Warren. I am coming to you by way of being a science and STEM teacher. So I've taught for over a decade in an interesting place called Crisfield, where kids have to catch boats to get to my school.
Wait, hold on. Stop.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, listen, we're already having some moments here. Wait, hold on. A boat?
Yes. So my school is surrounded by 3 islands, Ewell, Tylerton, and Road Point. And there's families who live on the island. And so they have to wake up maybe like an hour and a half early before all students wake up, get on the boat, undock, catch the bus, and then come to the school. And they're incredibly resilient. And so, yeah, boats. You had to catch boats to get to my school. It's crazy.
That's amazing. And it just goes to show you like how unique our schools are.
Yes.
Right? It never would have crossed my mind that kids would take a boat to school. I love that.
Yeah. And so, I teach at I taught in Crisfield for over a decade. Some kids have to catch boats. We're surrounded by the bay. I currently coach K through 12 teachers, special education teachers from K through 12. I coach science teachers and STEM teachers, secondary 7 through 12. I direct a program at an elementary school called Little Maid, which is a tutoring academy that teaches character development, reading and writing and arithmetic for elementary school students. And my current role, I have a lot going on. I'm a professor of teacher education as well. So I train the next generation of teachers. I speak, I do all the things. But one of the things I'm really humble but proud of is that in 2019, I was named Maryland State Teacher of the Year. And I had a chance, Greg, to go around the whole state of Maryland and some of the United States and visit some of the best and brightest teachers from elementary all on up. So I had a United States, almost a global worldview of what was happening in the classrooms. And so that's what makes me proud. Also that I was able to represent so many great educators across Maryland and beyond. And so that's me. That's who I am. And beyond that, I'm a husband, father. I have almost 4 children. And so that's me. And I hope everybody understands what it means to have a lot of kids and teach a lot of kids. So I got a bunch of babies everywhere.
I love it. Wait, I need to know about almost. Oh, look. So this is amazing. There we go. I love this. Okay. I love it. I people in the comments are just wowed by the boat thing. I love it. I love that. How cool is that? Well, okay. I need to know about the almost 4 babies.
Okay. So baby number 4 is due May 20th.
Oh, wow. So like soon,
Literally,
like literally
now.
almost like
Any day
any
now.
moment. So if you have to leave, we'll understand.
True. So yeah, I have a 9-year-old who's my oldest, a 4-year-old, and I have a 1-year-old, and so we'll have 2 under 2. So
Ooh, well,
yeah.
congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Exciting. Awesome. Well, that's so cool. I want to know, so you, in your travels as teacher of the year, you got to visit all of these amazing educators and schools. What was one of your biggest takeaways from that?
I think, my biggest takeaway is, although we're in different locations in different schools, everybody is battling and dealing with similar challenges. And I'm talking about schools who are affluent, schools who may not be as affluent, schools that are situated in good areas, schools that are situated in maybe some more challenging areas. There was a common thread, Greg. There was a common thread that there are students who need our support, who have challenges, and we as teachers need to figure out the best ways in which we can serve them. There are teachers who are leaving schools. There are teachers who are staying in schools. There's principals who are leaving schools. There's principals who are staying in schools. And so you have retention, recruitment, but you have similar things across the pattern. And sometimes we can think, well, this person's in that school, so they don't have it hard, or this person's in that school, so they have it hard. When really, I've learned by traveling, every single school has its own unique set of challenges, and most of those challenges are common threads.
I love that. Well, and you're so right. And one of the things that that always amazes me is when I'm telling stories of my students, everyone listening has a student just like that. So when I tell the story of my friend Hector, every person listening has a Hector. May not be named Hector, but we all have that common thread. And I love that was your takeaway. And it's absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the building may look different, the staff may be different, the kids may be different, but those common things are always going to be there.
Always. Yep.
I love that. And I love Adam's comment. Adam DeVico says, every student in every classroom in every school deserves a great teacher. And amen to that. Like 100%.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you think about it, the research is clear. Like the number one predictor of a child's success is the quality of the teacher that is in front of them. So if we think about that in the grand scheme of things, the number one predictor of a child's success is the quality of the teacher in front of them. It didn't say the quality of their upbringing. It didn't say the quality of where they live. It didn't say the quality of what the school building looks like. It says what? The quality of the teacher in front of them. So we have a tremendous weight. We have a tremendous weight, a tremendous burden, a tremendous calling to be able to be that predictor. Rick Chatty says the teacher who is a value add. We have a challenge to be that value add teacher. So when we step into the classroom, we can be on the right side of that outcome for the student. And so, yeah, I agree, Adam. Like every child deserves to have that high quality teacher, that high value teacher, and that great teacher.
I love it. And you said it's a weight, right? We have that weight on us, right? It's a tremendous responsibility. It is a tremendous, I'll say, burden, right?
Yeah, I was going to say that too. Yeah.
A challenge, but it's also a tremendous honor to get to do what we do. And it doesn't matter what, you were naming off all those things that didn't matter. And the one thing I kept going to in my head was the curriculum, right? It's the research didn't say a good scripted curriculum is the most effective. It's the teacher, the quality of the teacher. And that's what Elevate is all about. Elevate is all about supporting and uplifting educators and providing them with research-based content, but also making sure that they feel that teachers know they are valued and loved and supported, and that we're all in this together.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you said teachers know that they were loved, valued, and supported. Because I feel like that is a area in education where we can pay close attention to, right? Like if a teacher can't teach right if they are treating themselves or feeling wrong, right? It's hard to teach well when you're not well. And so I love how Elevate like is like, we're about the teacher. We want them to be well instructionally, well when it comes to classroom management, well within, encouraged, motivated, because it truly is, we think about the holistic part of a child. We got to think about the holistic part of a teacher. And so if a teacher is whole, they can come to the class as their best self, and which means that they'll be more than likely to offer a better instruction.
I love that. And I know this can be one of those things we talk so much about self-care, right? Mm-hmm. And it's almost like it's been weaponized against us, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's so much more than that. Mm-hmm. But it's also so important because like you said, if we're not okay, we're not going to be okay for our kids. And they need us to be okay.
You know what, Greg? This is what's interesting. I had a chance last summer to go to Tokyo, Japan. And I had a chance to go into the school, see what the schools were like, talk to the administrators, and see what education looked like in other countries. And, at the end of the tour and going through the schools, et cetera, we had a chance to talk to the building leader. And one of my questions was, I said, hey, how do you make sure your teachers are well? How do you make sure your teachers are well enough to, come into the class? And the school leader looked at me and he said, make sure they're well. He was like, my job is not to make sure they're well. He was like, they chose to teach. This is what they decided to do. So they need to make sure to take care of themselves. And I thought to myself, I was like, that's an interesting perspective from a school leader in Japan. His take was that the teacher should be motivated enough to make sure that they're okay before they get into the school. That it is not his responsibility or the school leader's responsibility to make sure that he's taking care of the kids. That the teacher should have the motivation to come in themselves. And I was like, that's interesting take. But on my other hand, I was like, wait, yeah, we are kind of responsible for making sure that we're good when we come. But I'm like, it's okay to create an environment in a school system where if we're not okay, we have the supports necessary. Because let's face it, some of us don't really have those tools, or when we get home, we're working on things and we don't really have the space to do so. So I was like, that's interesting, thinking about how other countries view making sure teachers are well versus how we make sure teachers are well. And I think there's some truths in both, right? Teachers, yes, we do need to make sure that we're setting parameters and boundaries and things like that to make sure we're well. But I also think as a school and as a community, we should be checking on each other. We should make sure that, we have those kind of supports in place, whether it's a therapist, mental health, and in the buildings to make sure the teachers have access to it. So I just wanted to touch on that and how the differences may look and how it's both our responsibilities.
And I people in the comments are saying, that's definitely interesting. But I think there, like you said, there's validity to that because it really takes all of us, right? Like, yes, I have to make sure I'm taking care of myself, going to bed early, all those things, all the things I need to do. But my principal also needs to make sure that, like you said, he's creating an environment where I can seek help, right? I can ask for, if I need a 10-minute break, or their admin team is making sure we're appreciated. So I think that principal in Japan might have said it a little harshly, but I think there's truth to that, because it's not just the principal's job and it's not just my job. We're there to work as a team.
That part. I think we are responsible for our inner conditions, and the school is responsible for our working conditions. Right. Most teachers don't necessarily leave because they don't like to teach. It might be something with the working conditions and how it makes them feel and what we call the burden. Right. But yeah, I think we're absolutely true. It takes us all.
I love it. Well, listen, I want to remind everybody to hit the share button, get in the comments, because we're giving away a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. So all you have to do to enter is hit that share button, invite your friends to join, get in the comments. The more you share, the more you comment, the more chances you have to win a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. And listen, if you haven't yet registered for Elevate Virtual, now is the time, because right now it's only $80. But on May 1st, that goes up to $100. So you need to get registered now. What does that get you? Basically, you're paying like $2 a session. Like, you can't beat PD for $2 a session. You're going to get Richard's keynote. We've got 3 other keynotes, 36 sessions. You're going to get 90 days on-demand virtual access from June 1st to August 31st. Hundreds of dollars of resources for your classroom. You can watch anytime, anywhere, because we even have an app. So you can literally watch anytime, anywhere, and we've made it super easy for you on your phone. So click the link in the comments on the description to get registered. Use the code Richard, and that will save you an extra 25% off, which means you can get registered for only $60. Make sure you do that now because, again, the price does go up on May 1st, so you don't want to miss out. Richard, give us a little sneak peek into your keynote. What are you going to be talking about?
Yeah, my keynote is called From Scribbles to Superstars. And it really dives into how do we find the brilliance and the beauty in every single child? How do we look at something that might be often interpreted as no direction or random, or there's just no linear thought? How do we look at the scribble of a child and see a portrait? A lot of times right? A lot of times,
that was good.
Yeah, listen, this is gonna be good. So a lot of times in education, sometimes we get caught up in the scribble. We get caught up with the messiness. We get caught up with how it looks, or we get caught up with because it doesn't really fit our perceptions, or we can't make anything of it, right? Those scribbles might be behavior. Those scribbles might be resources. Those scribbles might be a child who has very difficult challenges, right? A lot of times we can look at it and we can just, at times we cannot see the potential within the scribble. And if we know any child or any person who first picks up a crayon, a pencil, etc., they're not drawing full-fledged constructed portraits or pictures. What does a child do when they pick up a crayon for the very first time?
They scribble.
They scribble. We can see the scribble as a deficit, or we can see it as an asset. And so through my keynote, I'm going to walk you through a series of different scribble stories and different scribble concepts to help you see the scribble differently, but also give you tools and how to take the scribble from one area and help maximize it so it can become a portrait in another. And so I'm incredibly excited to share with teachers how you can actually look at the scribble, the mess, so to speak, and turn that mess into something that is a masterpiece. And so I'm incredibly excited to share those tools, the stories, the takeaways, all of the things that will help teachers teach better.
I love that. And people are loving that line, right? Look at the scribble and see the portrait. That is so true. And taking that mess and turning it into a masterpiece. And the thing is, like, you know, I teach kindergarten, and when so many of my kids walk in the door the first day of kindergarten, they've never been to school. And so, like, they're coming in a mess, like in all the ways, right?
Yep.
And so we get to take them from the mess to the masterpiece, right? I love that. And it's rewarding, and it's overwhelming, and it's exhausting, challenging, but it's also the best job in the world. It's the best thing we get to do, and I love that.
Yeah, a lot of times, you know, I think one of the biggest challenges, or one of my least, when I first started out teaching, the biggest challenge is that I wanted to find a product quickly. Right? I wanted them to I wanted to be able to teach one time and they get it. Or I wanted to be able to say one thing and they listen. I wanted to be able to call that parent one time and it just works. And a lot of times it doesn't work that way. It's like I had to learn to fall in love with the process, to fall in love with the steps, to fall in love with the journey of working with the child all the way until they reached where they needed to reach. And that journey, for some children, it's a lot longer than others. But I think if we reframe and look at things differently, I think it will really help us, one, with our well-being and with our patients, but two, it'll help the child feel seen, heard, valued, and supported through their journey. You know, I think about my son, Riley, the 4-year-old, and I share a little bit of this in the keynote. I'm not gonna share too much though. Think about him when he first picked up his first utensil, his first crown. His first writing utensil, his crown. And he starts scribbling all over the place, right? And he's so excited, though. He's so excited because he has something in his hand and he's just going all over the place. And then I think about when I try to get him to like color within lines and trace dots and do those things. And now I'm giving him pictures, and now he's able to connect the dots, connect the lines, draw within, figure out the colors. And it's getting to a point where it's like he is really, you know, becoming a great artist, right? And so I think the teachers, we need to have an ability. It's a term called to hypersee. Hypersee. That means we can look at something and imagine what it can be. Teachers have to have that special ability to look at the scribble and imagine what that scribble can be. To look at to look at a tree and imagine it as paper. Look at a tree and imagine it as a house. To look at a child and imagine that child as an architect. Imagine that child as a business owner. Imagine that child as an artist. Imagine that child as whatever that child could be. And I think that is the true beauty of hyper seeing and falling in love with the process.
I love it. Well, I love that you said fall in love with the process, right? Because like you said, like we want them to get it, right? Like I want you to read, I want you to write, I want you to like learn to walk in the hallway. But it is a process and it takes so much time. And that's who we are as teachers, is we're teaching that process. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a great reminder for all of us, is to fall in love with the process. And I feel like we've lost some of that process because, you know, we're checking the boxes, we're moving on, we're following the scope and sequence, following that pacing guide, reading that script, right? Yeah. And so we need to get back to that, mm-hmm. to loving that process and seeing them as architects and business owners and, you know, president or whatever. Like, I think that's such a needed reset for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you hit it on the head. You know, sometimes, you know, with the scope and sequences, the timelines, the testing, all of those things can kind of rob us of the joy of the process, right? It's that extra added process, and a reset is definitely essential, right? And if we think about it in the grand scheme of things, when we do rush and try to get to the product, it still doesn't work. No. We get through it. We get through the scope and sequence. We get through all the lessons, and then we realize, man, I should have took a little bit more time.
Right.
Yeah.
And we realized, like, oh, we rushed through it, but we got to the end, and then we're like, wait, there are these gaps, and guess what? We have to go back and do more work. Like, we've added to that challenge, and so I love this. Well, listen, we've got a few more minutes with Richard, so we're going to keep chatting, but I want to remind you to hit the share button. Get in the comments. The more you share, the more you comment, the more chances you have to win a free ticket to Elevate Virtual, where you can hear Richard's keynote. And based on what we're hearing tonight, I can't wait. Like, you've already kind of given me a couple of aha moments, especially when you talked about hyper C and like looking at a kid, and like, I'm thinking of a student in my class this year who's been very difficult, and we're at the end of the year and we're just on each other's nerves, right? Mm-hmm. You know, it's one of those, like, we all have that kid when you see them come down the hallway, you're like, oh, they're here today, right?
Yep.
So what if we flip that? Like, what if when I see her tomorrow, what if I'm like, ooh, here she comes. She could be the next Beyonce, the next president of the United States, right? The next Oprah, the next business owner. Like, what if we flip that a little bit here at the end of the year? Like, how much better would that make the end of our school year for those of us who are close to the end?
Yeah, I agree. Those students, I always say, like in my keynote, I call those students my plucks. The kids who pluck my nerves. Like, my plucks. Everybody has a pluck. It's the kid who never misses school.
Never. Every day.
School. Kids, you know, you gotta give everything. You gotta run on empty to get that kid just to do a little bit of minute work. I call them my plucks, and you know, I think with the mindset of, you know, the patience, the mindset of changing your perspective on how you view them, I think at the end of the day, even if it looks like they're still out to scribble, I think years down the road, they will come back and thank you for never giving up on them. And that is actually one of my biggest grounding moments, is like, you never know what side of the story you're going to be on, so you should choose the right one. Like, for example, one day I was driving my car, and it was raining. It was raining really bad outside, and I was on the highway, and I started hydroplaning to the point where I almost ran into a ditch, and like my heart was pumping, and I was like in this ditch, and the police officer starts coming behind me, like, and the police officer, I rolled down the window, and the police officer was like, "Is everything all right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Chad?" He was like, "Dr. Warren?" He was like, "Oh, are you all right?" He was like, "You know what? I'm gonna escort you up the highway, make sure you're good." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" That was one of my students. He's a sheriff. He escorted me off the highway. He didn't give me a ticket or anything, right? And then, you know, when my baby girl Ivory was born, one of my students walks in, and she's taking care of my baby, and she's like, "Dr. Warren, is everything all right?" "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get you some extra Pampers." I'm like, "Okay." Right. I pull up to the bank, and one of my students is my teller. Like, so it's like one of those things where it's like, I'm so glad that I never gave up on my students. And even if I had hard times, and even if I didn't have the best moments with that student, they will never know it. And they always view me as being that teacher that was there for them, that taught them, that you know what I mean? And so I have students who are police officers, nurses, handling my money. And suppose I was on the bad side of the story.
Right. Well, and that's with teaching. We don't always see the fruits of our labor right away.
Yes.
But most of us get to have those moments like you've had, where we run into former students and we get to see what they've become and get to see the fruits of those labors. I have a former student, I think back when he was in kindergarten, it was a really hard year. And now like he's thriving and he's on this travel soccer team, and they're crushing it. Like and I never would have imagined that for him. And to see him doing that it's amazing. I can't wait to see what he does, as he grows up. And I think we all have students like that. And I know I would love to hear some more of these stories in the comments. Like if you've run into former students, let us know what that was like. Like share that experience. I would love to hear that. We have about 3 minutes, so I want to give everybody one more chance to get in tonight's giveaway. Hit the share button, get in the comments. The more you share, the more you comment, the more chances you have to win a free ticket to Elevate Virtual, where you're going to get to hear Richard's amazing keynote. I can't wait. Like tonight has been fantastic. I'm like already have a new approach for I call them my spicy friends, my spicy friends.
I love it.
So I'm going into tomorrow with a fresh reset with that student, just from listening to you talk and chatting with you tonight. So I can't wait for your keynote, because I think it's going to be powerful and impactful. So I'm pumped. If you want to hear Richard's keynote, you need to join us this summer at Elevate Virtual, June 1st through August 31st. 90 days on-demand virtual access, which means you can watch anytime, anywhere, as much as you want. And it's all brand new content this year. I love virtual because you literally can watch wherever you want, however you want. In your bathrobe with your margarita at 3 a.m. It's the summer. Do whatever you want to do. Get some learning on. You'll get 36 sessions, including 4 keynotes, hundreds of dollars of resources for your classroom. We're giving away $10,000 in prizes. You get a certificate of contact for 36 hours. You get 90 days on-demand access. I think I got it all. Exclusive downloads and freebies, y'all, so much more. And you can watch on the app, so you can literally watch it anywhere, anytime. So get registered, click the links, use the code Richard. That will save you an extra 25% off, which means if you click the link, use the code Richard, you can get registered for $60. But you need to do it now, because the price goes up on May 1st. You don't want to miss out. I'm seeing lots of comments come in about people having experiences running into former students. Somebody is saying,
I love it.
Where'd it go? Jill has said that she has watched you at the local level in Somerset and can't wait.
Oh man, my people.
I love it. Emily says, this has given me a fresh look at my quote spicy friend for tomorrow. Right? I like, absolutely. And not like, that's what Elevate is truly about. Like, we are giving you the classroom proven, research-based content and strategies and ideas that you can use tomorrow. And we just did that tonight. Like we've now got this fresh approach to our spicy pluck friends. And so we're all heading into tomorrow with this new attitude. And so just from tonight's live, we've got something we're going to do tomorrow. That's what Elevate is about. It's about coming together, supporting each other, helping each other, so that we can be okay, because if we're not well, we can't be well for our students.
Love it. I love it, man. Can I just say one thing?
Go for it.
This is incredible. The Elevate Virtual is incredible for what you get. And here's the thing, like with professional development, like I don't know about you, but sometimes I just need a day to just let it soak in, to process everything that I've learned. And sometimes being able to like go back and watch it again, pause it, reflect on it, go back. You got 90 days to reflect, pause, keep going, listen again, write down more notes. Like even with like when I watch movies, If I watch a movie the first time, I always get something from it the first time.
Right.
I go back, I always notice something the second time. And so I think if you're on this chat and you're watching right now, you should probably click that link and go ahead and do it. It's well worth it. Well worth it.
Well, and right. Like that's the thing is like you go to PD, like in-person conferences are phenomenal because you have that needed sense of togetherness. But what I love about like you go to in-person, you take all the notes and then you have to go back to your notes and try to like process it all. But with virtual, you get like access to that content for 90 days. So you can watch it, take the notes, read the notes, process, go back and rewatch. So, yep, I love it. And you're right, Julie. We're so lucky at Elevate to have some of the best, the most amazing presenters because not only are they passionate about helping teachers, but we're all active current educators currently working in schools and classrooms. I love it. Hey, buddy.
This is Riley. This is a perfect example. Come here, Riley.
Hey, Riley.
The scribble guy right here.
I love it. I love your sword.
The scribble guy.
I love it.
All right. Hey, let Daddy finish up, okay? Yeah. Love you.
Well, hey, we have a 6-year-old, and I'm surprised she hasn't made her way down here. She always likes to come down and say hi. I love that. Well, I think that's the perfect way to end.
Yeah.
Right. So if you haven't registered, click the link, get registered, use the code Richard to save 25%. And if you've been sharing and commenting, now's your chance. We're about to give away a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. So Jesse is going to choose us a winner. If you are the winner of tonight's free ticket to Elevate Virtual, simply send an email to crystal@elevateyourclassroom.com and Crystal will take care of your ticket. All right, tonight's winner is Kelly Fix. Congratulations, Kelly. You have won a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. Kelly, send an email to crystal@elevateyourclassroom.com and Crystal will hook you up with your ticket. Congratulations, Kelly. Richard, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you for being a part of Elevate. I can't wait to hear more about your keynote. I'm so excited. This has been amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm incredibly excited to just be a part.
And thank you all for hanging out with us tonight, taking time out of your busy schedules to spend a little bit of time with us. We appreciate you. Thank you for all that you do for your students, your schools, your communities, and our profession. You're all an inspiration to us. So thank you so much. Everyone have a great night, and we will see you all very soon. Bye, everybody.